Interview preparation tips for overseas Filipino workers. Mabuhay, welcome to our channel. Most of the time, the employer conducts a job interview to select a candidate for a job position. Nowadays, video or phone interviews are common, although on rare occasions, an employer's representative travels to the applicant's country to interview candidates. The latter is especially true when the need to fill a technical position is urgent. Common questions asked during interviews. As part of our interview preparation tips, you have to anticipate and practice answering possible questions that your employer might ask you. These are some of the most commonly asked questions in job interviews for overseas job. 1. Tell something about yourself. This is almost a given question to expect in any job interview. How you answer this question will let the interviewer gauge your confidence level and communication ability. Be prepared to briefly describe your background, including your education, experience and skills, and a little information about your family. Keep in mind the requirements the employer is looking for in terms of qualifications. Align your answers to those requirements when answering this and other subsequent questions. 2. Describe your current job or last job. With this question, the interviewer is trying to measure your technical abilities as well as your professionalism. Briefly describe your roles and your contributions to the smooth operation of your particular function. Avoid saying anything negative about your past employers. Always dwell on your positive experiences. 3. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Talk about your strengths relevant to the job, not on other personal aspects. You can also mention how these strengths could be useful in the job you are applying for. With the follow-up question on your weaknesses, do not be tempted to describe your weaknesses that will put you in a bad light. When you describe a problem related to your weakness, lead your answer to how you overcame the problem and how you learned from the situation. 4. Why do you want to work overseas? Even if better pay is your major motivation to want to work overseas, it will be best not to highlight this. Your employer expects better intentions than the material reward of overseas work as an answer from a qualified candidate. While you may cite remuneration as the last motivator for you, emphasize the potentials for your professional and personal growth through the challenges from a different environment and culture. 5. How will you adapt to the different culture? This could well be the follow-up to the previous question. In answering this question, think about the aspects of the culture of the overseas country that you read or learned about. Describe your ease or comfort level with them, for example, how well you know the local language, how you consider other people's religions and customs as well as feelings. Your soft skills or people skills are worth bringing up at this point of the interview. 6. What are your long-term plans? With this question, the employer wants to know how working overseas fits into your future plans. He will be pleased knowing that working overseas is a vital part of your long-term career and personal plans. 7. Why should we hire you? This is a tricky question because you are not certain that you are indeed the best candidate that has been interviewed. You may have to reiterate your strengths and vary your answer from your earlier description. Bring up a perceived problem in the employer's business or organization and cite how your strengths can help bring solutions. Be creative but practical with your answer. 8. How do you solve a problem or handle stress? Your analytical and organizing skills are being gauged with this type of question. Gather your thoughts and in your mind, outline the systematic steps you do in approaching a problem and coming up with solutions. Describe them in a concrete, convincing manner. The process in responding to the related question on handling stress is similar. 9. What is your style in dealing with people? Discuss briefly how you interact with your peers, bosses and subordinates. If you are in a management or supervisory role, describe your style of leadership. Cite an example or two of how you dealt with a problem colleague and your people skills that did it. 10. How will you get your visa and/or work permit? When this question is asked, you can use the opportunity to ask the interviewer if he expects you to shoulder the expenses related to visa or work permit processing. If the employer can pay for it, good for you. If not, you can suggest that they pick up the cost and consider it part of your obligation to be repaid to them, upon being hired. If the expense is 100% yours, you may factor the cost, especially when high, to your desired salary during the discussion on pay negotiation. Video or online interview preparation tips. Video interview is the most common method of interviewing candidates. It is convenient for both the interviewer and interviewee. It practically does not cost anything. Both parties save time, effort and money, as no travel is required. A video interview should be as well planned and prepared for, as a face-to-face personal interview. Do the following preparation. Familiarize yourself with the equipment and technology to be used. Check the webcam and the microphone you will use in their proper setup and operation. Make sure that the video and audio will come clearly during the interview. Also position the camera to be at eye level. You will not look impressive looking up or down. Prepare your surroundings. Do not think that your face is the only thing visible from the interviewer's view. Fix the area where you will be interviewed. Make it free of clutter and any distractions. Make sure that you will be in place where the dog barking and other pets' sounds could not be heard. Lock the room so nobody could enter and cause disruptions. Inform other people in your house or office about the scheduled interview so they do not come knocking or disturbing you. Check your lighting. Do the interview in a well-lighted room. Put a light at the back and above the computer that is directed towards you. This will avoid shadows on your face. Also, apply a little powder or foundation on your face to avoid the light bouncing off your shiny face. Dress appropriately. Dress in a video interview as you would be dressed in an actual personal interview. Wear your suit when you have to, or at the very least a formal office attire. You will create a very positive impression with the way you dress. You will also have the feeling of being more professional in an office attire. Sit where you can comfortably speak. Schedule the interview in a place you can be comfortable in. Doing it in your present workplace is a no-no. You would not want your intentions to switch job made known to your current employer. Do not conduct it either in a noisy environment like a coffee shop or bar. Overseas interview preparation tips. It is not very common that an employer will ask you to travel abroad for the interview, but the job is not guaranteed. In such a situation, the employer normally spends for the round-trip plane ticket. It is also likely that you have been considered among the shortlisted candidates, if not the best candidate. Study the situation well and decide whether you want to risk losing a few days from your current work or activity by going for the interview. If the prospective job is well worth the inconvenience, you may consider it. If you get hired, your effort will be rewarded. If you don't, consider your days abroad as a paid travel incentive for you. It is a win-win situation, whichever way it turns out. In the rare case that the employer will ask you to shoulder all expenses yourself and yet does not guarantee work for you, that's a big gamble to take. The employer has nothing to lose while you take all the risk yourself. When you decide to go for the interview, anticipate that you may be questioned by immigration in the Philippines and in the country of your destination about your purpose for the travel. Ask the prospective employer before the travel date to send you an official letter certifying the purpose of your travel. At the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, dozens of travelers are offloaded or denied their flights daily because they are suspected to be job-hunting tourists who may not return. This certification, together with your other documents and return ticket, will protect you from being denied departure for overseas travel or entry into the foreign country. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel, like and share the video, click the notification button to get notifications for future uploads. Join us on Facebook, Instagram and other social media. Links in the description box below. Salamat.